Hey, it's Coach Kavanaugh here, and welcome back to episode 2 of the Coach Kav Show. And after the last episode, we had tons of questions about the recruiting process. Athletes wanted to find out, are they even getting recruited? What do they got to do to get the interest of the college coach? And then how do I go about figuring out what the right school is for me? So what better place to talk about that than here at the University of Richmond? Over the last decade, the Spiders have been one of the top Division I FCS programs in football history. Put multiple guys in the NFL, had national championship team. So if you're interested in going to a school like this, top Division I program, just trying to figure out if this is a place that you could go play, contribute, and be a part of a football program, then there's a different way of going about it than the schools that kind of go after you, like the Michigans, the Ohio States of the world, the Notre Dames. Guys, if you're one of those kids, like the 5-star, the blue chip athlete, they're gonna go get you. Because those schools, they have a budget. They have the ability to get you no matter where you are. If you're in the middle of Arkansas, Miami, or Northern Virginia, they're gonna find you. But it's a school like this, which is a top football program in the country, that has great competitive atmosphere. It's good football. Obviously, they put guys in the league and they compete for a national title almost every year. They just don't have the budget and the ability to go get any kid that they want across the country. So you have to go to them. And it's a different process. So before we even talk about how do we go about that, we have to build like our pregame, just like a warm-up in football and during a game. We have to build our body up to get ready to play. We have to build our athlete recruiting profile up before we could even get to a camp like this and showcase our abilities. So we're talking about making a decision, not just for 4 years of college, but for the next 40 years of your life. The college that you go to is going to be the game changer in whatever you're going to do long term. So my advice to you is to make sure that you're willing to put the work in to figure out the right fit. It's all about the right fit, academically, athletically, and then socially. Where do you want to go? So as we get started with the pregame is what I like to call, it's all about the 3 Ps of recruiting. The first P is your athlete profile, and that is your height, weight, your 40 speed, your huddle length. You got to build that, and you got to know what that is. If I'm a quarterback and I'm 5'11", well, I better hope that they're running the option or an athletic-based system. Because if not, if they're a pro-style offense or they're a freaking chuck the ball all day long, you're just not going to get recruited there. And you have to understand that. If their history is putting out 6'3", 6'4" quarterbacks, and you're 5'11", I'm not saying that there's no chance that you're going to go there, but it's going to be very limited opportunities, and for the opportunity to potentially get a scholarship, those schools are going to be very few and far between. So you got to figure out what that system is. So it's athlete profile first. If you're a linebacker and you're 180 pounds and they need a body that's going to be able to take some damage, like you might be one of the best kids at the high school level, but as you go to college, everybody's the best player on the team. That's the thing that most of you guys don't realize. You might be the best player on your team. Everybody that's at the Division I level, they might be the best players in the state, let alone region or team or even at their grade. They're the best players in the area, and that's what you're competing against. So you have to know what your athlete profile is first. So before you even come to a camp, before you even showcase your abilities as coaches, figure out who you are, and then figure out kind of where you want to be, and understand that there's a gap there. And if that gap is size, if that gap is speed, then you need to work on that. And that's the training process, and we could go over that later. But you got to figure out what your athlete profile is. What is your GPA? What is your SAT, ACT test scores? Where do you fit academically at a school like this? Once you figure out that and you build your athlete profile, then it turns into number 2, which is your athlete presence, is when you go online and I Google your name as a coach and I look at your social media accounts that it has everything lined up. A lot of these coaches, right, remember, they're not the Michigans of the world or the Virginia Techs of the world that have the ability to kind of fly to you and see you, right? In Nebraska, they could go pluck you out of your high school and figure out who you are. So they're going to go online, look at your huddle film, they're going to look at your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram accounts. They're going to try to build a face with a name. And if your profile pic is you just kind of doing something stupid, or not even that, but what happens if it's just a picture with you with your helmet on or you doing an action shot? I don't get that connection. So we need to put a face, right, to the name. So in your social media presence online, we want to make sure that we connect that with the coach through the recruiting process. Use it as a tool. I know a lot of your parents and I know a lot of coaches say, hey, we don't like social media, but guys, that's where the coaches are looking for you. So if it's just a tool, it just becomes an avenue to create a dialogue with those coaches, and that's what you want. Remember, like, how do you know if you're getting recruited? Well, the only way you know is if you're in communication with those coaches. So what I'm looking for from you is, put your profile picture, make it a picture of your face. Make it a picture that is across all platforms. So your Twitter, your Instagram, your Facebook, even your Snapchat. Coaches are connecting with you on there now. So I know it's advancing, but you guys are way ahead of the curve, and you're the ones who lead it, right? Coaches want to come to you, so they're going to go to the platform that you're on. So make sure that your profile picture is your face, and it's a good one, not one of you doing something dumb. Because it's less about you doing something stupid and more representing yourself as the player and as the person you are. That's what they want to see. But if you could put a face with a name, they're no longer searching for who that is when they get to the school. They're going to get to recognize you. And that's what you want. You want to be recognized on all platforms, right? So a lot of you guys, you're not on ESPN, you're not on Scout, you don't have a rating. Guys, those stars don't matter to schools like this. They don't matter to any of the other big schools either. It's about what you could do when you get here. So if you're at a camp, right, those stars don't matter. It's about going out there and competing that matters. So you have to build your presence by cleaning up your huddle film, cleaning up your social media accounts, right? The third thing is your presentation. And I tell you, profile's one thing, right? I can't make a guy 6'3". I can't make a guy 6'4". You know, some of you guys put the work in the weight room and you're 250 and you're jacked. Some of you guys just were blessed with God-given speed and you're running the 4.4s. You could work on all those traits, but the one that you can make the biggest impact on is your presentation. Is when you go to a camp like this and you're in front of college coaches, are you competitive? That's the stuff that they're looking for. They're looking for the guy that just has that edge, that has that dog in them, that's not going to rest between plays, that's not going to, hey, they miss a ball because it was a bad throw maybe, and their attitude is like, oh, well, that was a bad throw. How about your attitude of go get your ass full speed and go get that damn ball, run it back to the quarterback and say, hey, you know, I'll get it next time. That's the attitude that they're looking for. Stop with the my bads or oh, and then snicking your lips. How about you introduce yourself to that coach? Shake his hand, look him in the eye, and make him remember you. Treat every single person here like they're the head coach. That's the way you have to think about this. It's not about like walking in there and just treating one person good, right? You treat the girl that you're trying to hit on, right? You treat her really nice, but you don't treat all your other friends nicely, right? Treat everybody like they're the head coach. Treat everybody like they're the hot girl. You're going to pay attention to them. You're going to listen to them. If a coach is doing a drill, be present at that moment. That's how you make a difference when you're at a camp. Because it's the build-up to that camp that changes your athlete profile. It's the experience of when you're there that is going to change maybe your presence online, because people are going to say, oh man, this kid balled out at this camp. So those are the things that you need to do. And you got to make sure that you check all the boxes. If you can't check the height box because whatever height you're at for that position, it is where you are, then you better be able to check those other boxes, right? Strength is up to you. Speed is up to you. Size, that's up to you. You could get at the training table and eat. You could put yourself in the weight room and get after it. Those things are on you. But when you're here, you better be competitive. That's the biggest difference. That's the game changer to the guys like, how did he get recruited? I'm better than him, or I'm bigger than him, I'm faster than you. He's a gamer. He went out and balled out, and he didn't care if someone said that he was 5'9" and too small. Now, be realistic with that process and go, hey, if I'm 5'9" and I want to play quarterback and I'm a heck of an athlete, maybe when you come to a camp like this, be smart. Maybe you need to play slot receiver. Maybe you might have a little bit of a running back in you and need to put on some weight. So the only way you could know that is you're being honest with yourself, but you also communicate with those coaches. So when you're here, because you're shaking a coach's hand, because you're getting to know him, and you have a unified presence on your social media accounts, and you're not doing anything stupid, guys. I hate to kind of go back on the social media and harp on it, but it's a great platform and a great tool for you to connect with coaches, but it just takes one post to do something stupid and ruin that forever. You read about it all the time. You hear about it on ESPN. People screwed up because they made this post and then they got to take it down and then they're fine. Don't be one of those guys. But be one of those guys that are going to be a game changer. Be one of the guys that the coaches want on their program. Remember, if you get an opportunity at any of these schools to play at the next level, you represent their brand. And their brand, not just their football team, but their entire university, everything that logo stands for. So if they're going to give you a $250,000 scholarship over the course of 4 to 5 years, you better be damn sure that you do the right thing. Because they're not just handing out money to kids that just screw around. Remember, less than 1% of kids make it from the high school level to the college level. $250,000 scholarship, they're just not giving it away. So be a game changer, shake the coach's hand, make sure that your time at the camp is all in, right? You're hustling it, you're working at it. If you drop a ball, you go get it, you bring it back. You catch everything though, right? That's the mentality, right? So even if you dropped it, you went up there and boom, you got it back. You made a difference in that coach's mind by just your attitude to it. If a coach says, hey, let me see you play offense and you're a defensive guy, or the other way around, make sure you go do it. Say, hey, I can do whatever you need me to do because I want to be a part of a team and I'm a winner. That's the game changer. Build your 3 Ps. First one, athlete profile, right? Second one is your presence, organizing all your platforms, making sure it's consistent. And the third one, presentation. Just like your mom and dad has taught you, shake a coach's hand, look him in the eye, do the right thing. I know you've heard it all before, but if it's gonna give you a $250,000 scholarship and an opportunity to play on this field on national television, on ESPN, I'd do it. So that is what I'm gonna leave you with. If you wanna play on TV, you gotta start acting like not the guys that you hang out with, because most of your friends aren't doing those things, right? You gotta do the things that just the 1% do, not the 99% of them. And if that means cutting some ties from some of those guys, it is what it is. Remember, you got to be competitive, but you got to do the right thing. And if you do what the 1% does, you'll become part of the 1%. That's what I'm going to leave you with. And if you have any questions about the recruiting process, like the details, there's like a lot of intricacies to like where your situation is, ask us. Leave a comment below. We'll connect right back and forth. We'll figure out kind of what's the right system. But you got to connect with those coaches. You got to figure out if this is the right fit for you, right? Or where do you want to go? You do those things, I promise you, you're going to be in a much better position long term. Remember, it's up to you. If you want to change your athlete profile, put some work in the weight room. You want to change your presence? Take 15 minutes. Just organize all your stuff. 15 minutes, guys. It'll be a game changer the rest of your life. Remember, it's not the 4 years of playing college football. It's the next 40 years of your life, because nobody can take that away from you. Good luck to you at these camps. And remember, play full speed.